Good day everyone, I'm Andromachae Panga, BSHEL, and today I will give you a comprehensive discussion about the concepts, processes or alignments, and tips on how to create a research paper using our research entitled Buhinon, the language variation and social identity of Buhinon. Now, let me give you tips on how to create your research paper. So, the part of introduction, it is really important to consider your interest, your likes in choosing the topic, which really brings out the curiosity from you because it is going to be easy to construct an introduction page or part if you are into what your topic is. For our research paper, we considered including an introduction phrases or statements as well as RRLs to support our research paper. So we make use of RRLs and information from the internet, from the archives that is suited for our research paper. And the most important thing is that we made sure that we constructed the introduction part within the knowledge we have about the Buhinon and the language variation as well as the social identity. Because as a researcher, it is really important for us to consider reading more information and data about our topic so that we will be able to gain our own understanding and to be able to construct statements or phrases coming from our own understanding. Also, always remember that introduction serves as the brain of the research paper. So we have to put a lot of information into the introduction paper to support the claims that we are going to have in throughout our research paper. Next, for the statement of the problem, we sought to determine the factors affecting the language differentiation of Buhi from the city and municipalities across the Rinconada. Our study also opted to assess the relevance of social identity to language use. So, we have 3 SOPs, and to be honest, it is really hard to create an SOP without understanding the main goal of your research paper. So, the statement of the problem is basically the part wherein you identified the problem of the research paper. Why do you created this paper? It is because to address that problem presented in the statement of the problem. It is important to practice the alignment of the SOPs to the other part of the research paper to showcase the consistency within the paper itself because the statement of the problem is being addressed throughout the research paper. So if we didn't consider the SOP, then throughout constructing the paper, the audience or the readers will see the inconsistency and they might be confused that can cause to misunderstandings and misconceptions. So, in creating the statement of the problem, you should first identify what is your problem or what is the problem of the research topic which you wanted to address. For the assumptions of the study, we established that the study focused on the structural aspects of Buhinon dialect as the language variation of the municipality of Buhi, as well as the factors affecting the social identity of the Buhinon speakers. So, the assumption of the study is basically necessary for the researchers to create their predictions about the research paper itself so that the researchers will be able to construct their predictions and assumptions about what could be the result of the research paper as well as the data they gathered. Now, for the significance of the study, we chosen several beneficiaries including students, Buhinon speakers, educators, language policymakers, researchers, and the local communities. Significance of the study is a written statement that explains why a research study was important and how it contributed to the new knowledge. Okay? It is also used to justify the study's impact on its field and how others can benefit from it. Okay? We consider the needs, interests, expectations of the audience. Next, for the definition of terms. In constructing the definition of terms, you should first identify what terms are the most used terms in the research topic, as well as what is the main purpose of the terms in the said paper. Because definition of terms does not mean that you have to include the most difficult word that you can only be seen in the paper one time. Okay? You should always think of the words that is used multiple times in the research paper and also plays a significant role in conducting the research paper. Say for example, in our research we included language variation in the definition of terms, because not all of us knows what the meaning or what is the definition of language variation, and how can we identify that the certain language is the language variation of one area. So simply identify what are the terms that is used frequently in our research paper to establish knowledge about the research term, about that certain term, for the benefits of the readers. Also, in creating the definition of terms, you are not just going to define the terms or the words based on the dictionary or based on the internet, because the researchers should define the terms based on their own understanding, wherein the role of that word in the research paper, as well as their own perspective about the term. Now, we are down to the most comprehensive part of the research paper, which is the review related literature, wherein we are not just going to browse the internet about our topic, because we should consider the alignment of the RRL to our research topic. For our research paper, we ensure that the RRLs that we use is connected with our topic, which is again Buhinon, the language variation and social identity of Buhinon. Okay, according to wherein we used several RRLs, including one from Benjamin A. Claveria, wherein according to him, Buhinon features exotic sounds that are difficult to transcribe with regular alphabetic symbols, emphasizing its distinctness within the Bicol language group, okay, which deals with our topic, Buhinon language, and also identifies the language itself as an exotic one in terms of its sounds. Okay, we also included the linguistic variation is one of the earliest theories that have been proposed in this area by Labov, year 1972, which clearly stated that language variation is far from being random. They are socially relevant and have a clear correlation with factors such as class, ethnicity, gender, and so on. Okay, you should always consider aligning your RRL to your research paper itself, because RRL serves as the foundation and the legal basis of your topic, which is supported by different existing theories and studies. Now, we are going to discuss the methodologies. So, methodologies is basically the methods, the processes that we used in our research paper, and it's really important to consider the connectivity of the methodologies to the research paper itself, because the methodology serves as the process on how we are going to gather the data and how we are going to treat the data and information that we gather through using the methodologies. Okay, for the first one, we have the research design. Upon creating a research paper, it is important for us to identify what kind of research design do we have to deal with in that kind of research topic, because there are topics that are not suitable with qualitative research but suitable with quantitative research. So we have to consider our topic in choosing our research design. For our study, we used a pure qualitative and ethnographic approach to explore the structural components and aspects of the Buhinon dialect, as well as how language variation influences social identity. Now, we have the sampling technique. For our study on how language structure and social identity are connected in Buhinon, purposive sampling will be used. Okay, this method helps choose a specific group of people to take part in the study rather than selecting them randomly. So take note that sampling technique is a method that allows researchers to infer information about a population based on results from a subset of the population without having to investigate every individual. For the third one, we have the research instrument. So, the research instrument serves as the tool on how we are going to gather the data and information that we needed for our research topic. Wherein, in our research paper, we make use of interview questionnaire since we are going to establish the data through interviewing the informants that we have as the result of the sampling technique that we used. Okay. And for the last, the data analysis, since we are dealing with the qualitative research, we are making use of the data analysis instead of statistical treatment. Considering that statistical treatments goes with the quantitative, so it is necessary for us to make use of statistical treatment. So the data analysis serves as process of systematically applying the logical techniques to describe and illustrate, condenses, and recap and evaluate the data gathered throughout the research. Okay, so that is all for my discussion about how to create a research paper and the importance of considering concepts and processes or alignments within creating a research paper. Again, this is Andromachae Panga.